what's poppin', everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be talking about Azul's winning Charizard EX deck. Now, Azul just took down San Antonio Regionals, the largest regionals of all time, with Charizard EX. This video is going to showcase his San Antonio winning list, the strategy, gameplay, and more. So if you're excited for all of that, by all means, give this video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, let us know in the comments what you think about it, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into his deck list. So here you have it, the winning Charizard EX list. We also have a copy of the list in the description. You can copy and paste that right into PTCG Live. Charizard EX is all about accelerating energies with Infernal Rain to your Charizard EX so you can attack with Burning Darkness. Pretty simple, and everything involved with this deck is going to work to get off that Burning Darkness and get off that Charizard EX. As the game progresses and your opponent draws more prize card, Burning Darkness grows from doing 180 damage all the way up to when your opponent draws 5 out of their 6 prize cards to add 150 damage, making it 330 damage. Most Pokemon in our format, including these big HP Pokemon like Charizard EX, have 330 HP at max, so that means Charizard EX can basically knock out anything with Burning Darkness as the game progresses. With other top decks, such as Mew VMAX having weakness, and other popular decks such as Miraidon EX having low HP, Burning Darkness should absolutely wreak havoc on the metagame. We use cards like Pidgeot EX to search out whatever we want from our deck, including cards like Rare Candy, and maybe even a Forest Steel Stone that we can attach onto a Rotom V to search for whatever we want in a future turn. All the cards here, again, are built to make this deck consistent or to bring up our opponent's Pokemon and cause them some pain. This deck is absolutely fantastic in our metagame, especially as we continue to dwell into our Paradox Rift meta. Charizard's seen a lot of success, and this build's going to be incredibly popular at regional championships such as Portland, Knoxville, Charlotte, and everything else coming on in the global metagame. This deck does have some counters. It can lose to some Snorlax control decks or can have a tough Lost Zone Tina matchup, but it has great matchups against mostly everything else and can hold its own against most decks in the metagame. If you need any of the cards for this deck, be sure to check out our sponsors in the description, such as PTCGL Store to get your online Pokemon TCG code cards, Deckout Gaming for any of your sealed or single cards needed for this deck, and Atlas Collectibles for any of your sealed or singles cards. Check out the description for discounts and to support the Shuffle Squad. Let's jump into some gameplay. So we're going to go ahead and call the coin flip, or I guess our opponent's calling the coin flip. In most cases, I like to go second with this deck. And second allows me to decide if I'm able to play a supporter, I can play a Battle VIP Pass, I get a really good setup. Most of the time, our opponent's going to respond by knocking out one of our single prize card Pokemon, putting them down to 5 prize card. Then we force 3 2 prize card Pokemon, such as 3 Charizard EX for the rest of the game, into our opponent on top of playing cards like Iono and Counter Catcher. Honestly, not a bad start because we do have quite a few good things. I'm not sure with the Psychic in the Waters what our opponent's playing, but we will figure out quite soon. I'm going to put down the 1 Charmander. In this case, I'm actually going to put down another Charmander just in case our opponent's playing an Iron Valiant deck. However, it's usually better to put down just 1. We'll see, however, whatever it is when our opponent flips up. Okay, so we're playing against Lost Tina. This is the same match that Azul was able to beat in the finals. Can be a tough matchup for sure. When it comes down to attaching an energy or anything else like this, since they are playing a deck that plays Path to the Peak, it's probably worthwhile for us to go ahead and attach an energy to this Charmander. And I'm just going to go ahead and pass. I don't see another reason why putting down Charmander makes a lot of sense. Because we want to have cards that we can discard from our Ultra Ball as well. So let's go ahead, attach to our Charmander. I'm actually probably going to attach to the bench one in case they turn 1 cram our active Pokemon. If they end up doing that, that's fine. We could maybe go Vitality Band, Boss's Orders, bringing up our opponent's Tina V. Or I guess Counter Catcher, Vitality Band, Rare Candy. There's a lot of things that we can do with this deck. So let's see, let's see how it plays out here. We just need to hope that our opponent does not put down a Boss's Orders, but we can discard Counter Catcher and whatever card we do if they don't get a knockout. There's a few things that we could do. We'll figure it out however it goes. We also need to hope, I guess our opponent can't go for turn 1 Rad Ninja either. And they also took out their 1 Cramorant off the flower selecting. So we're probably not getting knocked out, meaning that we could probably just go Rare Candy Zard next turn. But our opponent has a pretty good setup with Colress, flower selecting, concealed cards, has a Tina down. Things can be difficult, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. We'll have to see how it plays out. They are losing. That's their only boss, likely. One of their only 2 counter catchers. So there's not too much. Like, they're going through a lot of really important cards in their loss zone, which is great for us to deal with right now. And there's another Tina V. Maybe they'll just go Jet Energy. Tina V goes active. Might just have another energy and go for Abyss Seeking. Okay, there's a Path to the Peak. I'm glad I attached the Fire Energy to the active now. That sounds fantastic. Because even if we're under Path, we could still Rare Candy Charizard and try to fetch out one of the other Fire Energies in our deck without having to necessarily rely on finding a Path counter this turn. We did find the card, so we are going to be going Ultra Ball, discarding a Charmander and a Counter Catcher. This will allow us to grab out a Charizard EX, one of the few copies that we have there. So nothing too bad. We're going to go ahead and Rare Candy into our Charizard. So we're just getting naturally set up. Azul's deck is super consistent. If I had any, like, kind of gripe about it, 7 energies is a little. But unless you get burnt by it, it's fine. And you can see that we're just naturally drawing into them here. Our opponent's at 7. We're at whatever. So this doesn't matter. We're just going to go ahead and go Iono. See how it plays out. So far, again, no issues. Our opponent likely only plays Roxanne. They might play 1 Iono, but I am going to just go Level Ball, search for a Charmeleon, and evolve, so that we are not necessarily needing all of the cards like Rare Candy, Charizard, and we're going to straight up attack into our opponent's active. If worse comes to worse, they're going to hit us for 280 damage. If they're able to go Colress, Mirage Gate, Evolve off of an Iono and Path. And if not, we're just going to take 2 prize cards, really put ourselves into a strong footing in this matchup. So they can only use Star Requiem, their V-Star, once per game. And that's probably the biggest thing that you got to factor in here. They're probably going to go hide into their comp phase so they're able to get some more cards. Otherwise, they should have just played Colress first if they had it. So this tells me that they do not have a Colress in their hands. Late game, we can also put down Jirachi to block their Sableye from doing much. So our board set up really nicely here. And we've got set up without playing a Pidgeot in play, something that they can knock out for 280 damage. They might just go ahead and retreat back into the same one that has the energy. And they might just be sacrificing their Tina to use Abyss Seeking to put themselves to 8. Well, now they're making a little bit better choices when it comes to whatever's going on. The Collapsed Stadium is quite nice for us because we're able to go ahead and go for Arven. One thing that I wouldn't mind is actually just bringing up with Boss and bringing up their Tina and hitting that one so we can go back-to-back knockouts. That might be kind of good, but I think what I want to be going for is Arven, searching my deck for a Ultra Ball and a Justified Gloves. I can discard the Justified Gloves pretty easily. I don't think we're going to be falling behind on prize cards too often here. I also don't see that we're getting Pidgeot, so I'd rather keep the counter catcher in hand. Let's go ahead and put the Collapsed Stadium in play, going Ultra Ball, discarding our Pidgeot and our Justified Gloves. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I just want to double check, taking a deep breath. Let's grab another Zard while we have the opportunity to do so. And so, like, you can see that we're just setup on setup on setup. Yeah, that's cool. We'll go fire. And I could put the Lumineon down. I don't want to, but we do have Lumineon Forest Stone in case anything gets really weird for us. If our opponent does not do anything with their Tina V next turn, we can definitely follow up into that. So far, our deck's setting up really nicely. We've drawn a couple prize cards. We even have a Lost Vacuum in case they get another path down. They still need a couple more cards to put in the Lost Zone before they could use Star Requiem, which is quite nice. But to me, this tells me that they have a Tina, a Mirage Gate, and they have a Colress in their 9-card hand. I mean, it's not that hard to figure that one out. But maybe they'll miss, like, right? Like, there's opportunities. We can't really progress our damage until our opponent does. A key moment in this match is if your opponent draws 3 prize cards, such as using Cram on a Charmander and then knocks out a 2 prize or like a Rotom or a Lumineon, you can use Vitality Band plus Burning Darkness to do plus 90 damage because your opponent's drawn 30 times 3 prize cards, 90, plus Vitality plus 100 damage, 280 damage. But looks like they're just going to be using Star Requiem here. Maybe not. Maybe they just don't have it here because they're discarding a Jet Energy from their hand. They might not have the Tina V-Star here. And if they don't and they miss the knockout this turn with Star Requiem, they are really behind. I couldn't imagine our opponent using Shred. Shred might actually be a good attack, but we'll have to see. Might just be one of those ones where they go ahead and retreat to the bench. I'm also fine if they just use Sableye here. Everything is telling me that our opponent's missing. And this is where Tina, like, even though it is a difficult matchup, it can be a little bit of a brick fest. Meaning that if they just, like, they could have all the pieces. Our opponent started off with a Colress, they got the Mirage Gate, then they use concealed cards. It looks like our opponent missed here with the Tina V-Star. And that wastes a complete Mirage Gate, which puts them down to 1 in their loss zone. They have 1 in their discard pile. And I don't know if they use Flower Selecting there, but I'm completely fine with this. We're likely not going to fall behind on prize cards, so let's go ahead and go Lost Vacuum on Counter Catcher. Taking this away, let's go Lumineon goes down, because now we can really put up some pressure on our opponents and bring up that Tina. So let's go ahead. We're going to go Boss brings up Tina. They typically do not play any answer to Forest Seal Stone, such as Lost Vacuum. We can also use Forest Seal Stone under Path because it's an ability on a trainer card, not an ability on a Pokemon. And we can go Level Ball here. I'm going to get Level Ball for a Charmander. I'm not worried if they bring up, and after like me drawing a bunch of prize cards, that our opponent hits us for like Sableye. So if they knock out a Charmander, whatever, I could care less. I'm going to keep the 1 energy in my hand just in case they try to go Counter Catcher and try to slow us down. So let's go ahead and go 180. I know this doesn't get us a knockout and we could have drawn another prize card beforehand, but if they do get a knockout on our Charizard EX, it does force our opponent to be in a position where they, if they go Star Requiem, that we could respond with a knockout. And we waste another 2 energies from our opponent's play. So we're doing a really good job at cutting into our opponent's resources. And even though like we have to 2-shot this Pokemon, they also need to be in a position where they get Mirage Gates and a Tina V-Star. So we're really like cutting off a lot of their resources, a lot of their answers. And they also have to find another Tina V and get that set up for next turn and their last Mirage Gate. So far, I'm feeling pretty good about this. They might just go ahead and use Colress or concealed cards. Not entirely sure either or. Looks like they have not found the Tina V-Star piece. And even if they do find it, they're only drawing 2 prize cards. And we're going to be down to 2 prize cards as well. If they're left with only a Sableye, we're going to be able to really take advantage of whatever our opponent has. And if they hit us for 110, we could just use the Forest Seal Stone that we pre-planned last turn to bring up their Tina V. Meaning that our opponent, after all these turns, has done maybe 200 damage to us. So let's go in with Star Alchemy and double check to see what we have. If we have the boss's orders, which we do, we can go ahead and bring up our opponent's Tina. And I think that sounds like a really good idea, because now they can't, they likely can't just use Star Requiem on us. So we're able to go ahead and use Burning Darkness for 180 damage. And again, there's not much else that they can do here. They can Roxanne us. Roxanne Counter Catcher on Lumineon might be the scariest thing that we have happening to us. But so far, everything's looking pretty good. And we just drew a couple other supporter cards out of our discard pile. We can also, they can't have a 2-prizer in the active unless it's a Tina. They probably don't want Tina in the active. So they're probably going to sacrifice a Cramorant or a Sableye to us this turn. Maybe Radiant Greninja if they really want to go deep on their energy consumption. and we're able to respond with a knockout, we're only looking for a boss's orders at that point to win the game. I can see why our opponent conceded so easily. Similar to Azul in the finals of San Antonio Regionals, we were able to take over Tina V-Star. That was completely unplanned, but you can see that Charizard, even with an awkward hand or against a difficult matchup such as Tina V-Star, can have its power where it's just like, I'm attacking, I'm attacking, I'm attacking, I'm a consistent deck. I'm a deck that grows more powerful as a game progresses. And that's one thing that you can see compared to other decks. Let's use it a very popular deck like Miraidon, for example. The only Pokemon that you have is that can scale its damage is Raichu V, because Raichu V does 60 for each lightning energy that you discard. Charizard naturally scales as the game progresses, so if you do fall behind a little bit, you could always hit your opponent with an Iono, and then you could attack with Counter Catcher, bring something up that you want, and then maybe get a knockout that your opponent was not expecting with Vitality Band or Justified Gloves. A lot of really cool things going on in this deck, and Charizard has largely been one of the most successful decks in our format. So if you're looking to play a successful deck, take it from one of our community pillars, Azul, and from the video that you just watched from the Shuffle Squad and see exactly what's going on. We've covered Charizard a few other times, and I've personally played it to 2 day 2s at regionals, so check it out. Take the list, give it a try. If you need any of the cards, again, the list is available in the description. You can copy and paste that right into PTCG Live, and you could go to any of our sponsors' websites, such as PTCGL Store, Atlas Collectibles, and Deck Out Gaming, and pick up whatever cards you need, either physically or digital, to play this deck. If you want to learn anything more about the game, or if you just want to help support the Shuffle Squad, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/TSSWin to see exactly what we're up to. We post about 5+ articles per week on there. A lot of them are in the 2K plus word count. Some long form articles, deck lists, and more. So really see what's going on there. I hope that you all enjoyed watching this video. I'll stay tuned for a little bit more, but stay tuned for, I'm just speaking, stay tuned for some more great content from the Shuffle Squad. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Hey trainers, tired of having too many cards lying around? I know that feeling, and I know what a hassle it is to try and sell those cards. But selling bulk is now easier than ever with TCG Bulk. Find tons of potential buyers in a single place. You just download the app, look for the best buyer near you, and carefully pack your bulk, ship it, and you get paid. It really is that simple. Turn the cards you don't want into the cards you absolutely need for your next deck. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.